Lynn's language today? I really gauge that she's going to be out there walking 20,000 steps today? Or am I like kind of on the fence? Because that's not her baseline. So change talk also induces a new language for people so that they can describe their lives differently. And when you learn how to describe something differently, you always hear, when someone speaks multiple languages,
Yes.
they almost act different. Like when I'm speaking Farsi, I'm a little bit different than when I'm speaking English or another language. This is the same kind of concept. And people say, something's different about you, right? You talk different. Or I gave a talk the other day to a group, and I said, how a woman walks in a room and we all say, oh, she's had Botox here, fillers here. In my world, when the minute someone opens their mouth, I'm like, oh, they've had coaching, they've had therapy. And I've, over the years, because I'm a lot older than you, I can just pick that up. And I'll go to a party and I'm like, oh, Lord, no. This one's going to be a work, because
I ain't partying with you, girl.
they're a hot mess. But then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to vibe. I don't have to do anything here. You start picking up. Yeah. We have a major authenticity going on here. I told her, I said, she's like, are you nervous? I'm like, no. Why would I be nervous? I'm just meeting up with my friends.
We're just having a talk.
Can I get a note for work?
Now you know why, right? After she met all of us.
Yes. By the way, we have to do several more sessions on this change. No, I love that. But language tells you a lot about where people are with how likely they are to make that change, and then how likely it is to stay. Yeah. That's why self-talk, we hear the vibe around like negative self-talk. As therapists, we have to coach and reteach and disrupt negative self-talk so we can mold the behavior so that we can engage them in motivational interviewing and get work done. Yeah. And people give up too soon. They go a few sessions, and of course you're going to ask them what's not going right. And it's hard. It's hard to be able to like admit to what's not going right for you. And they give up too soon. You need to see the whole, like my thing is at least get 18 session in, like really do the work, do the homework in between. And so that's kind of the fun part, even for us, when you see an individual slowly chip away at bad habits, and it's like a transformation. And then like whenever I help a guy out, or the mom of a family system, I'm like, I think all those kids are going to be better because of this. So even getting anybody in, or you get a cute little kid, maybe they're the black sheep of the family, they're carrying all the symptomatic part of the system, and you help that kid and they go help a friend at school, or they give extra hugs to their parents. It's so catchy, like in a good way, when we adopt this idea of like, I can change and I can be better for it.
So, I came across an article, and I wanted to share it with you all, where people shared their tips on overcoming lack of motivation. So I want to get your, both your insights on it. So one of the tip was break task into manageable chunks.
Great tip.
Yes, absolutely.
I call that in my lingo, work with the workable parts. And we spoke about that earlier. Don't make the goal so lofty. Like, I'm going to be, like Arwa said, I'm going to be work on being a great clinician this year. Well, you already are, but like you said, you want to learn this EFT techniques, right? That's a general statement. So my role would be like, what does that look like in 1 week?
Right.
What action items can you tie into this bigger achievement, right? What does it look like at the 1 month mark? Is it the number of books? Is it the number of workshops you want to take? Do you want to, I don't know, if you want to learn to be an EFT, do you want to sit in my sessions and clock in this many hours? You want to get folks to get very detailed plan of what they want to do, then they're going to be more likely to follow through.
Right.
And it's rewarding to achieve the little steps.
Yes.
So yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so the next one is write down each positive thing you experienced throughout the day. Yeah?
Yeah.
Good tip?
Yeah, absolutely.
So CBT tells us we have the power over our thoughts. So oftentimes we live in the world, how our narrative works. Maybe it's our depression, anxiety. Maybe we had a very anxious, like rigid parenting, like we were parented that way. And so we tend to choose the ideas and thoughts that are more negative. And negative types of narratives are very demoralizing when it comes to goal setting and motivation. So cognitive shifting, where you say, I'm going to give my brain an assignment to select 5 positive things, 5 things that are going right in my life. Over time, our brain is a muscle. So you learn, I know a mom says everything will go wrong no matter what, but today these things went right. And then your brain's like, wait a minute, it's not always that things go bad. There are instances where things are going right, and this practice is like a yoga for your brain, right? So you exercise that part of your brain, and over time it will shape itself.
Right. Because we tend to talk more about the negative things. Things that, if we had a bad day, we focus more on that, right?
Yeah.
Like we pick up the phone. For many days I won't, like for instance, I won't call Sasha, and then one day I'll call her and I'm like, oh my God, I had such a stressful day. And it's not so automatic, right? It's not like, hey, today I had such a great day at work and this has happened, because we don't think about that. Anything positive, we just keep it within ourselves and we are happy. But when it's negative, we are so quick to talk about it and share it. And because I guess also we are kind of in our minds, it's like, share your bad days, you feel better, right? But if
or
you share your good
culturally
days,
too, right? In our cultures, you're almost supposed to always complain. I like to complain when I have like 80% resolve, because I'm like, I hold a special responsibility, not just because I'm somebody's mom, but I'm taking care of a lot of people's mental health. And I do not want to send that message that, I don't know, I want to have resolve. I want to be an example that life happens to me. You guys know, I've had a lot of health issues, like different stressors, but I'm like, hey team, I'm here. I may be at 60%, but I'm letting you guys know I may have to leave early, but most of the times I don't. But I don't give up on that process. And I think that's a good culture, of our team. Even you lost your grandfather, and then she was seeing patients and, translating for the other patients who spoke Arabic. And even that action helps you overcome the other thing you're struggling with.
Right.
I love keeping momentum and keep moving. It's okay not to have it figured out. It's okay not to know. But being authentic, I've told my friends, I'm like, I'm going to come to your party, but this I'm not going to be my 100% bubbly self, but I know your kid only turns one time. So that's important to me too.
Yeah.
So, having an understanding, engaging yourself.
Yeah. Give yourself credit for the small things you do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Always.
That is.
We don't do that.
Right.
We always think.
Yeah.
Right. And it's really important to celebrate the the small success, even when it's in small steps, and kind of savor those moments. And it kind of ties back to gratitude, being grateful for it. So
yeah,
definitely.
absolutely.
Right? We don't have much time. I have a few, but okay, let me, whatever I can
Pick
get
a
to.
big one.
Have some me time.
Ooh,
Self-care.
I'm big on that. Self-compassion. 9 out of 10 people I meet do not, and that does not mean go buy yourself a new whatever product. That is not self-compassion, people. Self-compassion, darn, after this credit card. Self-compassion is a true understanding of the things that make you move, that make you motivated, and what shuts you down, and then being able to recognize that in those around you, right? Like, what is my limitation that I can't show up for somebody that I love? And do I take the time to go be that person? Do I go take care of my emotional hygiene? Do I go, maybe I'm dropping the ball on my health, right? My sleep hygiene is horrible. And then I'm showing up to work and yelling at my team.
Yeah.
That's right. That is not self-compassion. It's the opposite. So that self-care ties into all of that. But it doesn't mean like you need to go buy yourself a new wardrobe. That's the misunderstanding out there. It means actually sometimes you gotta go work on yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
Maybe you have too many things in your wardrobe.
Yeah.
Right.
And you lack connection with the world.
Yeah.
So definitely, that was a good one.
Okay, one more. Be gentle with yourself.
Yeah, we tend to be gentle with others, but sometimes we're hard on ourselves. I see that in the clinic all the time with patients. Like, they would say things about themselves that they wouldn't say about their friend or family member. And it's really important. And it kind of also ties back to self-compassion as well. So, yeah.
Okay, that's a great way to end.
Yeah.
We can still continue. I have a few, maybe off air.
Yeah, with the self-talk and self-compassion, be careful when you're a mom, or in any kind of leadership. You will set the tone, and it's just negative.
Yeah.
Like, don't negate. Even in language, when you catch people say things and they insert the word "but" or "do you think," these will all look like you just doubt yourself, and it's not conducive to building self-confidence. It's a whole other topic.
Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us here on Chai Time this morning. It was such a great topic to touch on and talk about, and I'm sure there's a lot more to talk about it as well. So thank you, Mahtab. Thank you, Arwa. We really enjoyed you here at the studio.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, listeners, for joining us here on Chai Time. We shall see you next week, same time, same place. Signing off, Chai Time 103.5, Ham FM.